Ready for head coach Chris Brown.
The second half of the game on Saturday, at least from our view, seemed to be maybe the best half of football your team played all season. Give up 50-some-odd yards, score points to pull away. Is that more of what you expected out of your team this season?
It is. We're getting closer. Never probably meet my expectations, but the guys know that as well. But it's just, I thought we played better in the second half. We finally came out with some fire, some energy, clicking on all cylinders offensively and defensively as well. I'm shutting down pretty good, but that's what we're looking for week in and week out. Our guys figured out, their opponent last week and what they were doing, and kind of wore them out. And I think we got them tired, and they just kind of. And we just kind of took over from there. And, our guys played hard in that second half, and they came out with some energy, which is the number one key, and come out with some confidence as well. I think that field goal from Carson, to kind of end the half, really gave us some juice. And, anytime those things happen, we'll take it. But great kick by him. But I just think we came out just a little more energized, a little more excited, and ready to put a team away.
I wanted to ask you about that kick, specifically on the distance. Does Carson tell you what he's good from before the game or during the game? Do you have interaction with him so you know that 52 is in the possibility?
Yeah, right before, after they do their kicks and all that stuff, and it's probably around the 45-minute mark, 30-minute mark when we're doing individuals or whatever we're doing. I always go talk to the kickers and just kind of see where they're at and what they're thinking, and even with our punter as well. Janky, like, what do you feel better today with Ringo or our regular style kick? And, just talking to them, and they let me know, in those situations. But Carson and I always talk and then get his distances, and then kind of get to that point where it's kind of in that area. It might be a little bit longer than what he gave me, and I'll just kind of give him a look, and he'll let me know. And so it's just that communication and how he's feeling at that point. And he was confident in that situation right there that he was going to make that kick, and I said, well, let's go for it then.
What was the distance he gave you before the game?
47. Right around there, 47. So it was only 5 yards longer, but it was still in that range, and I think he's feeling pretty good about it, and so was I, because I've seen him kick in practice and things like that. And his leg strength's very good, so I know he could make it if we just got the protection.
Talk about his progression, because last year he was obviously been great on extra points, and 35-40 in, he's been pretty solid, but it seems like his leg has gotten stronger and he's become more reliable, even better maybe than what you thought.
Yeah, I think it's helped with weight, and when you're weight in the weight room, getting stronger and getting that leg stronger as well, and him really putting in the time and effort, this summer to make himself better. And they always find these kicking coaches, because I'm not a kicking coach by any means. I can try to tell you just kick it through the uprights, but that doesn't really help. But they find their guys, and they go out, work out with their guys, and get themselves better. And watching film and their techniques and fundamentals, and he's really honing in on that stuff and making sure he's prepared and he's ready. But the kid's always working, always got confidence in him, and if he tells me to give it an opportunity, unless it's like 80 yards, and then I probably will.
What was your evaluation of Caleb after his second start? Do you see improvement, growing in confidence, just your overall evaluation?
He's grown tremendously from first start to second start. Can tell he's a little more comfortable in the pocket as well. Uses his legs very well this game, and when he needed to. There's probably only one instance in that game he wish he would have ran instead of trying to throw. If he would have ran sooner, probably got a few more yards. But he's getting better. The good thing about Caleb is it's just he's making everybody else around him better as well with what he does, and his preparation and getting guys up in the film room and getting them prepared as well. Just of the things that he's seeing and the places that he wants his receivers and where they should be at, and in certain coverages and certain routes, and that's the big thing with him. He's all in, and he's all in with his team, and he's a great leader, and he's a great motivator as well, and he's got a lot of energy and excitement that he brings to our team as well. But I think it's just that leadership and getting guys to buy into what he's doing and how things work on this team is what's making this thing really click right now, because he's up there constantly, and he's with receivers constantly, and watching film and making sure they're all in the right spots and doing what they're supposed to do. But I thought he had a great game. A couple of those incompletions or throwaways, which all quarterbacks usually are going to have those, but if you take those away, he's way up there in his percentage on completions.
Is there a part of the playbook that's maybe opened now because of him, the quarterback?
We've had a lot of these run game in, and he's good at it, and he reads it very well. we just notice he runs well too, and he's strong, and he's a big kid, and he runs physical too. So we got to kind of teach him sometimes to learn how to slide a little bit. But he does run physical, and he does run hard, and he does find openings, and he's able to make people miss. So that does open some things up, and and even during pass play scrambling, that helps tremendously as well, because he's always looking downfield to throw the ball. But when it's not there, he's gone. He's able to get first downs for us. So, but yeah, it does open up the playbook a little bit. He's smart because he puts a lot of time and effort into it as well.
Offense has been a little bit more efficient here as of late. How's that help the defense? It seems like they're playing a lot better as well.
It's the rest, right? Defensively, it gives us rest. It gives us time to sit on the bench with them and go through, since we have the iPads now, go through plays with our players on what we need to get fixed and the corrections that we need to make and where we need to be in certain situations and even angles. And so, them getting, on the field and staying on the field, not just going 3 and out, that really gives us an opportunity to get our defense ready. And same for us defensively we want to go 3 and out, so they don't really have much time to prepare offensively, but when you're rolling like they were rolling last week, you just want to get them back on the field and let them get after it and establish that run game like they did.
Did that long drive, ran the ball a lot, and scored to kind of put that game away. How excited you were about that? 'Cause it's been a while since you've been in that situation and you just ran the ball down someone's throat.
Yeah.
That take a lot of time.
That was awesome, and we needed something like that. That hasn't been like that here in a long time, and to run 5.5 minutes off the clock, things like 5:40 something. That's awesome, and just seeing them, knowing we're going to run, us still being able to run the ball, in that situation and grind that clock down and then, score there at the end. And, they don't have very much time left to even go down and score. So, that's huge. We got to continue to build off of that and really try to establish that run game. And then, I really do think if we can establish that run game every single game, our pass game is really going to open up.
They're going up this week against what seems to be a very good defense. How does their defense compare to others from other teams that you've seen so far this season?
It's different. They're going to give you a 4-man front, 5-man front. They're going to roll into some cover 3, and then there's some coverages that I can't even tell you what they're doing, honestly, because they'll play some man coverage too. They'll play some quarters, but they'll have guys just kind of rolling everywhere in different places. And, it probably turns more into a cover 3 and like a cover 4 look, and just, they try to bring 5 guys, quite a bit to get pressure on the quarterback and stop the run. So, just bringing things from everywhere. That's the thing we have to hone in on and finding out where they're coming from. So, it's going to be a lot of work on our, offensive side of the ball to figure out, what they're doing defensively and try to early in the game and how they're trying to attack us and where they're attacking us from and get those things, adjusted on the sideline and get them fixed. So that's kind of what we got to look at right there. But they give you a lot of different looks. They do give a 5-man front. They give you a 4-man front, 3-man front with some man coverage, some zone coverage, and some cover 3. So a lot of stuff to look at. But I think once you break it down and see it, it's probably not as much as you think it is.
How good is their defense, and looking at it compared to other defensive places?
They're solid. They're very, very solid in everything they do. They're very sound in everything they do. They don't give up a lot of big plays. They make you earn everything that you get. They're physical. They're very physical up front. They're very physical in the back end as well. And, just their movements, is what makes it so difficult, especially for a quarterback, when he's throwing. So his film study this week with the receivers and where they need to be is very high this week because of all the different looks that they kind of give you. But they are a solid defense. They're a tough defense. So we got to figure out what they're doing, early in that game because they do mix it up a little bit each game, and hopefully get on them and get some big plays on them.
Every place you visit in the MIAA, there's something unique about that stop and location. What is unique about Pittsburg State that can make it tough to play there?
It's going to be homecoming. As number one, it's going to be their homecoming game. The double deck, side and the big scoreboard and just all the red around town, because there's a lot of support for the program as well. But the energy that they bring to game day as well. So that's probably it. Their stadium was very similar to ours, until they did the upgrades to it. But you step on the field, you really don't notice it. It's just 2 teams on the football field and really to get after it. But it's the all before any of that stuff happens. Our crowd here has been huge and tremendous and loud, and so that shouldn't bother us, at all. But it's just, it's that first all once we get there, but when we step on the field, that all goes away. And it's just 2 teams on the field getting after it and going to battle.
offensively, I mean, they put up some numbers, but not overly big, but what stands out is their time of possession, especially last week at Kearney. What's the key to getting them off the field and not having those long, time-consuming drives?
You have to stop the run game. That's number one. And whether it's the quarterback run game or they get in a wildcat package, they use a big tight end, as well in short yardage situations. But it's just getting them second and long. That's the key because they always seem to be like they're second and 4, second and 5. Then all of a sudden they're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. And so we got to keep them out of those 3rd and short situations, get them 3rd and long, and make them throw the ball. So I think if we can do that, we can get some stops. We'll get the ball back to our offense and they can go score. But that's the key. Just we got to be great on first down. We got to be great on second down, and even better on third, and get ourselves off the field and get the ball back to our offense. And we got to be ready for the deep ball as well because they do have some play action off of it, and then they throw it deep to either get the big play, and then a lot of times if they don't get the big play, they draw the pass interference. So we're going to have to be prepared for that as well.
They have a veteran quarterback who's probably seen it all in MIAA. And how does that affect your preparation in that instance? Is it tougher to have a surprise defensively against their offense when you have somebody like that who's a veteran back there?
No, you don't want to change too much defensively or have too many surprises. I mean, you'll have some adjustments that you make defensively here and there, but if you try to change things too much, you just confuse your kids, and then now they're not playing football. So we're going to try to stay to our base rules and do our base things, and maybe have a few adjustments for a few formations that they have. But other than that, you don't want to change too much because you end up hurting yourself and getting your kids confused. So. I know he's going to be prepared. I know he's going to see what we've done already. But it's really going to come down to the guys on the field making plays, and so our guys got to step up and make plays this week. And really, I think we need to stop their run game. If we can do that, I think we'd have a great day.
What's his strengths at quarterback? What does he do best for their offense?
Just what he sees and how he sees things. Right, he's really good at the RPOs. Because it really actually does look like a run when he pulls it out of there, and the guys are still going. He gets the ball out of his hands pretty quick, and he's able to scramble around as well. And when he has an open receiver, he's able to hit his open receiver as well. So, and he can scramble, right? He's a kid that can scramble and extend plays. So, we got to find a way to keep him contained, whether it's run or pass, and try to find a way to get some pressure on him as well, and cover up their receivers. But they're very skilled at all positions, so we're going to have a tough chore ahead of us this week. But with the guys that we have, defensively, I think we can handle it.
Sounds like there's several teams this year that have gone to a very quick pass it fast enough that your team or other teams can't get pressure on the quarterback. How do you combat against that? Be able to still find some sort of pressure or take away the receivers? What's the key to this?
I think the big thing is like Miles last week. They were getting it out so quick. I think he had 3 knockdowns, and so as a D lineman, if they're getting it out so quick, you basically just kind of contain and rush, and then get your hands up pretty quick and try to bat balls down. I'm getting connected a little bit earlier in your coverages. And then change your coverages a little bit as well, and maybe not such a soft coverage where we got 4 guys off. Now we just have 2 guys off and 5 guys across the board, so we can get matched up with those receivers a little bit differently or a little bit quicker. So it's just mixing those things in and out, rolling your coverages a little bit to kind of confuse quarterbacks too, to just try to get him to make an errant throw and maybe throw a pick as well. So. But other than that, it's just getting connected early and making those windows very tight for the quarterback in those situations and make them work for it.
I think in a game like this, it's composure in a sense. It's going to be a big crowd. It's going to be loud. It's football. There's going to be adversity. Just to battle through those times to give yourself a chance.
It's just controlled emotion, right? You're going to have some bad plays, but we always talk about moving on to the next play. It's one play at a time and playing with great effort every single play. And once that play's over, we got to be on to the next one and can't worry about it. Don't let the crowd affect you. They're going to be loud. They're going to be harassing us like crazy. I'm used to it, so that's something our guys got to be used to as well. They should be, from the way I talk, get after them at practice and harass them at practice, so they should be pretty prepared for that. But it's going to be a great environment. Just like when we play at home, we got a great environment as well, and now I have to go there and face the circumstances that our opponents face at home, where you can't worry about what the crowd's saying and things are saying to you, and stay locked into the football game and what's happening between the lines, and then that's it. But that's the whole key: control the emotion and playing one play at a time and moving on to the next.
Looking at the conference standings so far, what
I think it's just there's not really any big surprises. I mean, UCO has really turned it around, and I mean they've done some great things offensively, and their defense is very sound. That's why they're at the top right now. But everybody else has got a loss or got two losses, and so that kind of tells you how tough this conference truly is. And that's probably the negative of it, is that this conference is tough, and there might be a two-loss team in this conference right now that doesn't make the playoffs, which if we're playing in another conference, we're probably definitely in or might be making a run. So somebody in our conference is going to get left home, and that's the sad thing, because I mean I see a lot of these teams ending up the season 9-2 just because we are so competitive, and I'm hoping that we are one of those teams. But the negative is it's such a tough conference. We beat each other up week in and week out that a lot of times we don't get to the playoffs healthy, and so that's our goal, is to get to the playoff and be healthy. But that's the negative part of it. The positive thing is you're playing great football every single week, and you got to compete every single week, and that's the cool thing about it, that you got to be at your best every week, and I think that just makes our teams better than others.